An insight into the extent of the disciplinary measures being implemented by new Barcelona head coach Hansi Flick has on Tuesday been provided. As per a report from Sport, Flick has already on multiple occasions stressed the importance of timekeeping to his squad. In turn, after one unnamed member of his ranks in Catalonia arrived to the Ciutat Esportiva Joan Gamper only just on time for a recent training session, Barca's headmaster made an example of him. In one preparatory session, one player arrived at training on time, and Hansi did not miss the opportunity to send a warning in front of other teammates, it is revealed. According to a report from La Gazzetta dello Sport, Arsenal defender Jakub Kiwior is close to reaching an agreement with Inter Milan for a transfer this summer after the Gunners signed Bologna star Riccardo Calafiori. That is downright insulting to Juventus if they miss out on Kiwior to Inter, because Kiwior was supposed to be an almost guaranteed signing for the old lady this window. And that's because Juve were supposed to be the frontrunners to sign Calafiori, but they dragged their feet and waited for the Euros, during which Calafiori became a social media sensation. If this report holds true, then Kiwior won't be the easy transfer Juve thought and could instead burn them as part of a much more successful Inter Milan side that already boasts some very talented defenders in Benjamin Pavard and Alessandro Bastoni. Bayern Munich sporting director Max Eberl hinted that Joshua Kimmich's future could be somewhat precarious. Kimmich, who has entered the final year of his contract and endured a difficult 2-0, 2-3, 2-4 campaign. The 29-year-old, who can play right back and in midfield, has been linked with several clubs across Europe including Liverpool and Manchester City. Celtic edged out Manchester City 4-3 in a 7-goal thriller on Tuesday. City won the Premier League title last season, retaining the crown for a fourth season running, but they were undone by the reigning Scottish champions in North Carolina. Erling Haaland captain Pep Guardiola's team, and his header dragged City level after Celtic had taken a 3-1 lead by the interval. Nicholas Kuhn scored twice for the boys in the opening 45 minutes, either side of Oscar Bob's effort, with Cleogo Furuhashi also getting in on the act for Celtic. Bob teed up Maximo Perron to reduce the arrears before the Norwegian youngster supplied the cross for his compatriot Holland to head home. A City equaliser in the 57th minute, but the day belonged to Celtic as 11 minutes later, Luis Palma grabbed their fourth to seal a memorable friendly victory for Brendan Rodgers' side. Juventus have already received the initial approval of Karim Adeyemi, but must still find an accord with Borussia Dortmund, with Federer coach Jesse and Meisha's soul both heading towards the exit door. At least one new wide player will be required. The Juventus director will be hoping to secure an agreement with Adeyemi's representatives before heading to Dortmund to negotiate a transfer with the club. The German winger is tied to contact with the Bundesliga giants that runs until June 2027. The UEFA has announced the opening of disciplinary proceedings against Spanish national team players Alvaro Morata and Rodrigo Hernandez Rodri for various charges related to the chance of a Gibraltar Spanish during the official Euro 2024 title celebration on July 15 in Madrid. Both players, with Morata serving as the team captain and Rodri named the tournament's best player, face 4 charges according to UEFA, reaching the general principles of conduct of violating the basic norms of decent conduct, using the sporting events for manifestations of a non-sporting nature, and discrediting the sport of football and UEFA in particular. Some big names have been left out of Chelsea's US pre-season tour, with uncertainty over the futures of 6 players in particular. Omissions Romelu Lukaku, Kepa Arrizabalaga, Trevoh Chalobah, Cesar Casadei, David Datro Fofana and Malang Sarr will continue to fuel the speculation that they could leave Stamford Bridge permanently this summer. The 6 players arrived at Chelsea for a combined £190 million. Though Chalobah didn't cost a penny as he came through the club's academy, while Sarr joined as a free agent after his contract at Nice expired. According to Transfermarkt, the Blues could be on to make a £120 million loss on what they paid for Lukaku, Arrizabalaga, Fofana and Casadei collectively, with the quarter valued at a combined £70 million. Atletico Madrid have reportedly established a new 3-man shortlist for their vacant left-sided centre-back position. One of the names on that list is Strahinja Pavlovic, who currently plays for Austrian heavyweights RB Salzburg. AC Milan have been the favourites to sign Pavlovic over the last week or two, but Atleti have made a late move. Unfortunately for Diego Simon and sporting director Andrea Berta, they have been rejected by the Serbian international, as reported by Marzio. Wataru Endo has revealed that Liverpool are looking for a replacement for Mohamed Salah, suggesting that the 32-year-old winger could leave Anfield this summer. Speaking to Japanese outlet ABE MA Sports Time, the Reds midfielder was asked numerous questions about his career and private life, and Endo was asked who he would sign from the national team for Liverpool. After much deliberation, he named Takefusa Kubo from Real Sociedad, which raised eyebrows in the studio. Endo added, "The search for a replacement for Mohamed Salah has begun, so this is becoming a real area for Liverpool to strengthen. I think the player who can replace him in the national team would be Kubo." FC Barcelona will reward Fermin Lopez with a new contract following his breakout season. He is currently on duty with the Spanish Olympic team after winning the UEFA Euro 2024 trophy. Fermin was given a new deal last August as his contract was set to expire, and Barcelona wanted to keep him for the future. His profile since has been raised and he's become a strong contributor in the first team and even made the Spanish national team squad for the Euro. His new deal will run until 2028 or 2029, but it depends on Barcelona having space in the FFP salary cap before they can register him under the new contract. Fermin was second in the team when it came to goals last season, behind only Robert Lewandowski. Trent Alexander-Arnold is intent on staying at Liverpool for another season despite interest from Real Madrid, according to reports. The 25-year-old has won 7 trophies with Liverpool, including the Premier League and the Champions League. Since making his first team debut in 2016, Alexander-Arnold has just a year left on his contract with Liverpool and has yet to reach an agreement with the club over a new deal. Last week, reports claimed that Real Madrid hold a serious interest in signing Alexander-Arnold and have already made an approach to sign the England international. However, the Sun reports that Alexander-Arnold has already held talks with Arne Slot about the new season with Liverpool and is committed for the upcoming campaign. Another club that asked for information on Xavi Simons was Newcastle to understand the situation of the player. But again, this was a few days ago, not months ago. And this is why Leipzig and Bayern remain the two favourites. Let's see what Xavi Simons decides to do. It was quite the revelation from Romano, as Simons would be a blockbuster signing for Newcastle United. His words sparked excitement among the Toon army, although there was an acceptance that a deal for the Dutchman would be extremely difficult and costly. Atletico Madrid are set to conclude their first piece of transfer business this summer with a deal for Girona's Artem Dovbyk close to completion. As reported by Fabrizio Romano, the final details are being sorted regarding the payment structure. Atletico are set to match the €40 million release clause in Dovbyk's contract, and then the deal will be finalised. The 27-year-old already has an agreement on personal terms and is itching to move to the La Liga giants. The striker had a historic season last year, scoring with his very last shot to become the year's top scorer. Dovbyk converted a 90th minute penalty during Girona's 7-0 triumph over Granada on the final day, taking his tally to 24 goals. This was the first time in 15 years that the La Liga's top scorer award has been won by a player outside of Barcelona or Real Madrid. PSG are yet to make formal contact with Man Up but have explored the conditions of a potential deal. Dortmund and Juventus are also interested in Sancho, but they are currently unwilling to match his price tag of roughly £40 million. It remains to be seen if the French giants are able to negotiate a lower fee. Man Ut's preference is to sell Sancho this summer, but the prospect of him remaining at Old Trafford hasn't been completely ruled out. PSG are looking to make 2 winger signings this summer, and reports from Spain suggest that they are keen on Athletic Bilbao's Nico Williams. Barcelona remain the favourites at this stage after showing a willingness to trigger Williams' release clause of roughly £50 million. Xavi Simons is getting really close to staying at RB Leipzig for another season. RB are now clear favourites over Bayern. It's not done yet, but Leipzig are very confident of getting it done in the next few days. After being left behind in the race for Xavi Simons, Bayern are now working on signing Desire Dow as they want to bring in one more attacking player. They've presented him with their project and have today bid up to €55 million to Rennes. At the moment, there is still no green light from Dow, who is talking to both PSG and Bayern. Paris are expected to bid again in the next few days. Once the player makes his decision, it will be quite easy to close the deal with Rennes. West Ham United and Crystal Palace are among the clubs interested in signing Chelsea defender Trevoh Chalobah, according to TalkSport, after the 25-year-old was left out of Chelsea's pre-season tour of the United States. Several Premier League clubs have stepped up their interest in signing him this summer. West Ham are among potential suitors for Chalobah, who was placed on the transfer list by the Blues after last season. Smelisar, currently with Olympique Marseille, has reportedly agreed to personal terms for a 4-year stint with the Eagles, according to a recent revelation by The Athletic. However, the deal is not yet in the back, as negotiations between the two clubs seem to have hit a snag over the valuation of the player. Everton are closing in on a third summer signing after a deal was agreed with Napoli over the loan of midfielder Jesper Lindstrom. Reports suggest the Blues have been looking to secure the player for the 2024-25 season under Sean Dyche after making a busy start to the window. Fabrizio Romano adds that there will be a minimal loan fee paid by Everton of less than £3 million Cillian, but the deal includes an option to buy of £18.5 million Cillian. Having already bought Iliman Ndiaye and Timiro Gunan so far, Everton are expected to dip back into the market for Lindstrom, who can play as a no-point 10 or on either wing. La Liga president Javier Tebas has appeared to furiously launch a war of words against Real Madrid president Florentino Perez on his social media. Earlier on Tuesday, it was revealed that Spain's Administrative Sports Court, TAD, had opened disciplinary proceedings against the 61-year-old. The case relates to a complaint that has been lodged by Real Madrid president Florentino Perez regarding a £1.68 billion Cillian, €2 billion deal with private equity firm CVC Capital Partners. According to reports per ESPN, Madrid accused Tebas of an abuse of his powers and a lack of transparency in calling and managing the assembly where the CVC agreement was discussed. Tebas, who has been in his role as La Liga president since 2013, could now face a suspension, according to Marca. Although the French Football Federation have complained to FIFA about Argentina's chant, this isn't an issue aimed at one nation. While Chelsea are investigating Enzo Fernandez's conduct, this isn't about one player's guilt. It should be stressed that Fernandez is not the only Argentinian singing in the video mocking France for having talent either born elsewhere or having parents born somewhere else, or both. The truth is, it seems that the majority on the coach join in with the racial song and few of the squad have condemned it. In fact, their sporting minister has been sacked for suggesting the team apologise. This is what their vice president said: "No country with a colonial history is going to put us down for a song sung on a field nor for speaking a truth that nobody wants to admit." So if you're wondering why the likes of Messi have not shown more remorse, the reality is they might believe they have nothing wrong. Real Madrid has released its financial report for the 2023-2024 season, revealing operating income before the sale of fixed assets of $1.1 billion, making it the first club in the world to surpass the $1 billion mark. Operating income before the sale of fixed assets for the 2023-24 season reached $1.073 billion, an increase of $230 million, 27% compared to the 2022-2023 season. Despite the stadium not being fully operational, the club managed to exceed $1 billion in operating income before the sale of fixed assets, a milestone no other football club has reached, states Real Madrid.